In this video I'll start to build a island-bound death row prison that is also max security. Let's get to going. So first of all, obviously the settings. Just went for a medium-sized island plot, which is 2 islands and some water in between, obviously. And then I just went for some macro settings. Obviously I had to check on the island-bound setting, which is under DLC settings. There it is, and then you just click it, and then there's island-bound right at the bottom. Going back to the base and just checked on some things I wanted, like checked on Fog of War, checked on also Generate Force, because I quite like that, because it's just free wood and free stuff. Also failure conditions, so I could actually fail. So there's a bit of pressure on there. Events to keep me on my toes a bit more, and selected the pacifier, and then I went ahead and hit play. And once we loaded into the prison, I started checking out some stuff, obviously turned off intake and started playing out some bits on different islands right away. The main big plot island I was going to use for the prison, and then the smaller one I planned some stuff out is going to be for the office area. Instantly went ahead and started playing the offices and the prison, obviously. Then I went ahead and tried to build a dock in between the islands, which was a bit of a challenge, and I figured it out eventually. It's going to be a utility room. And then I went ahead and started to plan out the prisons. It's going to be max security prisons, because once a death row prisoner is not actually going to be executed, he's going to be a max security prisoner, and not super max or whatever. It's just going to be max. Just in case of a prisoner not being executed, I'm gonna have a few slots free for the max security prison, but it's also just going to function as a prison and not just as a fun bit for prisoners who do not get executed, because that would be very inefficient. And then obviously took the first 2 grants, which are to build the kitchen and the main stuff you need for the prison. Adjusted that a bit, and then I just picked the size from the prison area, or the cell area, and just copied it. The little rooms in the top are going to be solitary and also parole. There's the visitation right there to the right. Center bit's going to be the yard, and I'm now going to start building the first few areas. Figured out quite quickly there was about 1 million trees in the way, so I need to get rid of every single one of them. So I went ahead and did just that, but that was going to take a long time. Took a while for my workmen to finally finish off all the trees, and they could finally get to building the stuff I wanted to build. Utility area, going to start building that. I also put around the fences on the outside, because that was going to be necessary for the yard to be valid, and it just took a while because of all the trees. But because of the trees, I'm going to have a stupidly high cash flow in about a second. Obviously, I had to keep bureaucracy going, because otherwise I was not going to be advancing as much as the prison was. Took the 3rd grant because I researched that. And at this point, it's just waiting for all my workmen to finally cut off all the trees. If you look at my income right now, it's at 2.8k. That's how high is going to be today. Finally was able to almost finish off all the fences, or will at least put them there, and then the guards would obviously still have the workmen would obviously still have to build them. But then I would have placed them already, so just the building phase left. Utility room is about to be well finished for the first part. Took away even more trees because they were in the way. And I started to almost start construction on the cell block, which once again took a while. All the trees, all the moving the wood to exports, it was all going to take a long time. I was going to also start to build the office area a bit more, to expand it a bit, so I can hire all the guys that need an office. And then they were finally starting to build the first cell block. Now the fun thing about Island Bound is there's a boat that needs to pick up and bring all the stuff to your island, but it's not as big as a truck would be. I feel like it feels a lot smaller. Could just be me, but it's also one boat just going up and down. You can build more of those boat areas, the docks, which bring the supply boats. So that's definitely something you could do if you decide to go island bound. I do recommend it because it just took way too long for me to wait for just the one boat bringing everything and taking everything out. So I do recommend building a second dock. Construction on the side block is going just fine. That's going to be the kitchen and the canteen. I had to cancel because I had to finish off the wall there, but it's going to be the canteen in a second. Just dismissing the boat again and again, just to keep the flow a bit better. Because if the workmen need to go with that boat and it only goes every 30 seconds, it's going to be a tad slow, but you can dismiss it on your own if you just click it. Or you can make it go faster, just back and forth by dismissing it. Solitary cells are obviously going to need those. That's going to be plenty for the whole prison probably. The first bit of work, I'm going to start building the first workrooms. Obviously the cleaning cupboard and the laundry. Those are the main two you want to start building because it's also for grant, so might as well just do that. Started marking up some stuff and also was going to start doing the regime in a bit. Also the patrols and the deployment as well. Changed the reception up obviously because it was still a holding cell, so I had to change that up a bit, but that's okay. Took another grant and started to plumb. Love this bit. It's just gonna take a while because it's quite a lot of pipes and there's still different work they can do as well. So it's going to take a bit, but they'll get there. This point just expanding everything just so it looks a bit nicer. Also just the canteen and the kitchen, finishing those off so I don't have to worry about this later. Also all the solitary rooms, cells, those are going to need to be finished. As you can see, there's also an infirmary and a morgue there now. That seemed like a very nice spot. It's slap bang in the middle of the prison, so everyone can just access when they need to. So that's very nice. Staff room, so they can rest whenever they need to. Well, at least the guys that are down there with the administrative people. The workmen and the guards may have a bit of a harder time, but we can always build one up there. And now scheduling. This new scheduling tool is really nice. It's a bit easier to use and a bit better to look at. It's just all a bit bigger. If you have a smaller screen like me, that may be a bit of a disadvantage, but you'll get used to it because you can drag it around as well. Making sure the guards are everywhere and deployed well. Also on patrols, that's going to be the classrooms. Because I was already quite far into the grant, so that's quite nice. So next episode we can definitely open up the prison. There we go. And now it's just hooking up the final bits of the water supply. Adding a few things to the yard, because the prisoners should not feel left out there recreationally. Hooking up some metal detectors, just so they can't do anything bad. Expanding the storage, and that is going to be about it for today. Definitely check out this video I did on how to build a death row prison, and I'll see you in the next one.